One of the most powerful parts of the Yom Kippur davening is the Yud Gimel B'Des Harachmim, the 13 attributes of Hashem's mercy. Throughout the day, multiple times we quote the attributes of mercy, which are found in the Torah when Moshe was davening that Hashem should forgive the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf. The Gemara in Masechta Rosh Hashanah tells us that Hashem appeared to Moshe in the form of a chazan wrapped in a talis, and he taught him the secret of the 13 attributes, saying that when the Jewish people will sin before me, Yasu lefanai kaseder zeh, they should do this service before me, and I will forgive them for their sins. And Rabbi Yehuda adds that Hashem made a pact, a bris krusa, with the 13 attributes of mercy, that they will never return empty-handed, meaning that whenever we appeal to Hashem with these attributes of mercy, He will always answer us. The commentators are perplexed because we have seen throughout the years Jewish people who have appealed to Hashem with the 13 attributes of mercy throughout the generations, and yet they still suffered suffering and punishment. They still suffered tragedy. They were still not completely forgiven for their sins. So what does it mean when the Gemara tells us that there is a bris krusa, that there is a pact that is made, that Hashem will always answer our prayers when we invoke the 13 attributes of mercy? Different answers are given, but I'd like to share an explanation from the Tzor Hamor. The Tzor Hamor says, if we look at the text of the Gemara does not say that when the Jewish people sin, Yoimru lefanai kaseder hazeh, they shall say before me the order of the 13 attributes of mercy. Rather it says, Yasu lefanai kaseder hazeh, they shall do before me the order of the 13 attributes of mercy. Because not enough just to come before Hashem with words appealing for forgiveness. We have to act upon those words as well. Just as we expect Hashem to be chanun v'rachum, compassionate and merciful, we need to be compassionate and merciful to others. Just as we appeal to Hashem as erech hapayim, long-suffering and patient, we need to be long-suffering and patient with others. And just as Hashem is chesed ve'emes, Hashem has infinite kindness and perfect truth, so too we have to endeavor to strive for these qualities of loving kindness to everyone and to strive for truth as well. We find this idea echoed in the Haftarah of Yom Kippur, where Hashem says that the fast that He desires is not a day of fasting and sackcloth, but rather that we look after one another, rather we act in a kind and benevolent manner in ways of righteousness, justice, and charity. This message is also highlighted in the Tana Dve'Eliyahu, another source which describes the Seder HaSlicha. And there the Tana Dve'Eliyahu says that when the Jewish people face a tzara, face a difficulty, Yamdu lefanai, they shall stand before me ba'aguda achas, in one group. Meaning that when we come before Hashem appealing for His mercy, each one of us in our personal lives, we cannot stand alone. Hashem is willing to grant all of our requests, but only when we come together in unity and when we stand before Him as one bundle. And this message is so important in the current situation that we face in Eretz Yisroel. Our strength as a nation is our unity when we are united, when we are together. Last year in Yom Kippur, tragically, we saw violence on the streets of Tel Aviv when a prayer service, a tefillah of Yom Kippur, was disrupted based on baseless hatred of Jew against Jew. Very shortly afterwards, we witnessed the horrible attack of Shmini Atzeres, when so many Jews lost their lives. And in that moment, we forgot all of our divisions, all of the discord that separates us, and we came together as an aguda achas. We came together as one group, as one unit, dedicated to the mission of bringing back our captives and the victory over our enemies. And that was short-lived because, unfortunately, those divisions have reared their heads once again. Again, we are seeing rhetoric, violence, threats on the streets of Israel. We're seeing protests pitting Jew against Jew. And indeed, shortly before this Yom Kippur, when the High Court said that they can go ahead with that service again, there were threats to disrupt it as well. As we head into Yom Kippur, and we are all going to turn to Hashem for atonement and forgiveness, and we're going to present Hashem with all of the requests that we want for ourselves and for our family, and for all of Klal Yisrael, that we should be spared from any tsaros, we should be spared from any suffering and negativity. It's not enough to go through the motions. It's not enough to say the words that Hashem is Kel Rachum V'Chanun Erech Hapayim B'Rav Chesed V'Emes. We have to yasu lefanai kaseder hazeh. We need to come together in achdus and unity, and in a way that we embody and live by those very qualities that we are appealing to. And then in that schus, in the merit of our unity, in the merit of our kindness, love, mercy, and compassion for every single person, may Hashem answer all of our tefillos, all of our prayers for Gemar Chasim HaTova and the coming of Mashiach, which will herald in an era of complete, true peace and security, and the return of all of our captives and all of the Jewish people back to Yerushalayim b'mheira v'yameinu. Amen.